Google. I know for an absolute fact that all of you in this room have heard of this company. Heck, I literally wrote this script on Google Docs. I don't think it would be that much of a stretch to say that Google is one of, if not the most well-known and influential company in the world. Even BBC referred to Google as, quote, the most powerful company in the world. It's genuinely insane just how big the company has gotten, and I could go on for ages of just about what Google has to offer, but let me ask a different question. How did they get there in the first place? Why are they so big? And what the heck is Alphabet Inc? Like, when did that happen? Why have I never heard of this? Well, hey, answering those questions is the entire reason I was forced to create this video in the first place. Doing one about pirates wasn't good enough for you, was it, Mr. B?
I must just be like super good at my job or something. I don't know. But don't tell him that, because it would make me look like a guy with like an extremely high ego.
However, in order to answer all of your questions, we're going to need to go back in time to the prehistoric year of 1996. In January 1996, two PhD students at Stanford University created the most early version of Google. These two men being the now famous Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Google was initially just a research project that the two made to test a new way of searching for website links. They called it PageRank, simply because the program would scan the relevance of any given page based on how many links redirected to the page and the reliability of said links. The two partners almost immediately saw the potential of this new system, and after almost a year in development, they would release their search engine, equipped with its new and shiny program for searching links. They called this new web browser Backrub. Wait, that doesn't sound right. Let me check the script real quick. Oh, yeah, that is right. The research project led by Page and Brin wasn't initially named Google, but instead Backrub, due to their new system checking backlogs to estimate the relevance of a site. However, they eventually changed it in 1997, instead naming the engine after the number Google, to represent the vast amount of information you would find on the engine. But despite what their naming situation was, they had created a new web browser, one with a system that highly outclassed the systems of other browsers at the time, and let me tell you, they were getting a ton of backing for it. By July in 1999, about 3 years after the initial idea of Google, the two had amassed more than $25 million in funding. This not only allowed them to continue developing the program, but also to get them a headquarters and their first employees. Things were looking good for Google, and it was only going to go up from there. After these initial few years, a ton of stuff happened from 2000 to the present day, and in order to make this not take forever, I won't be going over everything that happened. I will, however, go over more of the important stuff in bullet point format. In June 2000, Google would become the default search engine for Yahoo, replacing the retired program called Inktomi. Google elected their first CEO, Eric Schmidt, in 2001. In 2003, Google would lease and eventually buy property in Silicon Valley for $319 million. This would become known as Googleplex. The word Google actually became a verb in the English dictionary. No, I'm not kidding. On October 9th, 2006, Google would acquire YouTube for $1.65 billion. Actually, pause right there. I really need to go over the insane number of fields that Google is a part of, because it's a lot. You have the obvious Google search, email, mapping, cloud saving, web navigation, video sharing, workspaces, operating systems, storage, translating, photo storage, video calling, smart homes, smartphones, wearable tech, music streaming, TV streaming, artificial intelligence, machine learning APIs, computer chips, self-driving cars, smart cities, transformer models, and quantum computing? And that's not even mentioning their discontinued No, we're not doing that. The point is, Google is a huge company, despite literally starting out as a college research project. It's actually insane how this is what some people can create if they put their minds to it. Well, that's about all I really have to say about Google. I could probably go into stuff like what happened during COVID, or why did they try and start a full-on gaming platform? But honestly, this video probably fits the time requirement anyway, so what's the point? So let's work for me anyway. Oh, yeah, one thing I forgot to mention. Alphabet Inc. is the parent company of Google, which was actually created through a restructuring of Google. Long story short, Alphabet just exists because Google employees don't want to do as much work. Just thought I might answer that because I said I would at the beginning of the video. Also, get off your phone. You know the rules. Okay, bye!